All right, guys. Our next guest joins us before he makes more history as he prepares to headline his second UFC London of the year in just 4 months. Sixth ranked in the division. He takes one step closer to the belt as he takes on Curtis Blaydes this weekend. Tom Aspinall joining us late at night. Welcome back to the show, man. How are you?
Well, it's not that late. It's only 9:45, but I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right, thanks. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. And Casper mentioned it. Historic event. You're super busy. You've got 3,000 media obligations to do. You got to be honest with us right now. How disappointing is it to be kept up late at night by submission radio during such a tough time?
No, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I'm happy to stay up for you guys, but I'm trying to stay up anyway. So, yeah, I'm happy about it.
Is that your house, by the way? Are you at your house?
Yeah. I'm at my house.
Oh, this is nice. That's a nice curtain, man. Things must be going well for you, Tom.
We're in the hotel. We're in the hotel right now. The smoke. We're in the big smoke, as we call it in the UK. That's what we call it.
I think there's someone spying on you from the hotel across the road. You're gonna have to close those curtains when you get changed.
Do you know? Are you guys aware of Bikram yoga? What Bikram yoga is?
Yeah,
We're aware of it,
I saw
yeah.
the trailer on Netflix. He's either genius
Yes.
or a bit of a predator, right?
He's the guy who's like a bit of a sexual predator. Well, outside of this hotel, there's a Bikram yoga place literally right out. I actually might be able to see it from here. One sec, I think.
This is great. This video might be used in court as evidence one day in the future.
No, we're right above it, but it's dark. I'll have to take a picture and show it to you. Literally,
Please.
there's a Bikram yoga place right down like near the front entrance.
So the fight's basically not happening. Let's just be honest. We'll all be at the Bikram yoga place too late at night. You'll be like, I think I have something to do right now. They'll be like, Tom, come back.
This is why you're saying you're trying to stay up because Bikram yoga opens at midnight,
Yeah.
right?
No, I've actually never seen it open. This is my it's my second time here. I've not seen it open yet, but I have been watching. Don't worry about that. I've been spying.
I think that's kind of like what the newbies do at Bikram yoga. First you watch, then you participate. That's kind of how the membership escalates. What's this feeling like for you? Other than checking people out at Bikram yoga as they ruin their lives, what's the fight week been like for you? I know it's like super early days. Does it feel different to the last one at all?
No, not at all. Fight week's fight week. Like, you get there, you got a load of obligations to do. I just try and relax and enjoy it as much as possible because these are moments that not everybody in the world gets to experience. You breathe in. Someone told me that I'm breathing rare air in the level that I'm at. So I'm just over here breathing the rare air this week and trying to enjoy it, trying to enjoy myself.
It's interesting because, like, you say that, look, I'm just chilling and I'm just trying to enjoy myself. But you're 29 years old. You put on that display against Volkov in the main event just in March. Like, I imagine the scenes back home are a little bit different compared to before. Like, when you're walking down the street, a grocer's just throwing apples at you like you're Rocky. Like, what's going on?
Usually, like, women getting the tits out in the back of the car and stuff. Tits on the windscreen. Tits straight on the windscreen as I'm running past.
I said, what's changed, Tom? What's changed? What's new?
Well, yes, that's true. Yeah, that was happening before. Well, it used to be dicks. Now it's tits. So there's that. There's not a lot of change, mate, in my life. Same stuff. A few more people know who I am, but I'm really tall. I'm way bigger than everybody, so everyone just looks at me anyway, and I'm a bit funny looking anyway, so everyone always looks at me anyway. So it's nothing new there.
Weirdest place you've been recognized thus far?
Oh, I've got a really weird one recently. I've had a few weird ones recently, actually.
Go on, then.
I was in my kids' swimming lessons, and after the swimming lessons, all the kids like shower. They got like a shower area, and the parents kind of just wait for the kids to come out the shower. And I was in the shower area, watching my kids shower, waiting for them to finish, and other parents were watching their kids shower, waiting for them to finish. And this guy just walked around the corner and just went, "Tom," in front of like 20 other parents, and I was like, "Yeah, you okay, mate?" He's like, "I've got to have a picture. I'm like, all right, well, just let me finish my kid's shower and we'll do a picture. And he's like, well, I'm in a bit of a rush. I'm in a bit of a rush, to be honest. I'm like, well, we can't do it in the kids' shower area. That's a bit weird. And he's like, oh, why? I'm just like, mate, we're in a kids' shower area. There's like 20 kids with no clothes on. What do you mean, why? He's like, oh, well, I just thought you might want to. I'm like,
Oh,
no, mate, no.
You're on his time, Tom. Didn't you realize? Oh my God.
God. And yeah, I don't know. Make sure he's not staying at that hotel across the road from you. I think we're going to have to call the police, just double check. I was going to also ask, man, like, I know you got a little bit of cash floating around now. Is there something that you've splurged on since sort of you've been holding off on since that big win at UFC London? Is there that one item that you're like, all right, I'm going to treat myself here?
I got a hot tub.
Ooh.
Got a hot tub.
Ooh.
That's it.
That's a pretty epic buy. That's where the tits and the dicks are coming out now.
Yeah, mainly just mine. But yeah, I got a Range Rover as well, but the Range Rover is actually sponsored, so I didn't actually buy that. So that's nice. That's really good stuff. And yeah, I mean, I'm not
still
really,
put it on Marketplace.
I can still put it on Marketplace.
Get to Australia before they get you.
Yeah, but no, I'm not really a massive. I've got everything I need. You know what I mean? All this is just, I'll invest in that in the future, I guess.
You're rich with love. You got the family. What else do you need? Everything else is just like cushioning, basically.
Exactly.
You were doing a great chat. Yeah, I was in a Lambo dealership the other day with a client. I can't afford it, and I was just like, these are cool cars, but I can see myself feeling empty with one of those. If you don't have the right life, anyway. You talk, but that has nothing to do with anything. I don't think I sold that well at all. Anyway. About you, not me. You were talking to Adam at BT Sports in a recent video where you look back at your Volkov win, and you mentioned that you like to crouch at the start, before the bell, because you like to keep it fun and the element of playing your performances. I'm just wondering, like, why is that such an important aspect of approaching a fight to you? I feel like this is the theme for you, theme of fight week and theme of fighting as well.
Adam makes me a little bit uncomfortable, to be honest. He sits a little bit too close to me in them interviews, doesn't he, Adam? I'm going to have a word with him about them, because
maybe not close enough.
It's getting very uncomfortable what Adam's doing with me. I don't know what's going on. But,
I'd like to see you guys go tip to tip in future interviews, you and Adam.
Well, he looks like Woody from Toy Story. Have you ever seen Toy Story? He looks like Woody. So he doesn't have nothing to say, Adam.
We've never met or spoken to Adam. Can you imagine his reaction? He does a great job. And, it was an interesting question, though, man. You keeping it light during the fight? I mean, where does that come from? Like, have you had situations in the past where you're like, man, I just came into this a little bit too, like, trying to just be tense and trying to be.
Oh, yeah, of course. Like, I've been trying to like be this big alpha cage fighter guy, and that's just not me. You know what I mean? And I want to be who I am. Who I am is like a playful guy, and that's just when I perform the best, is when I'm relaxed and enjoying it. Do you know what I mean? This is a sport. It's not live or die. It's not going to the guillotine in front of 20,000 people. You're going out there doing a sport, and sometimes the media build it up to be something that it's not. We're not actually going to war. We're doing a sport and doing what we enjoy. So I just want to bring it back to that sometimes, as opposed to building it up in my mind to something that it's not, which is like some big war, live or die, who's the hardest man in the world thing. It's not like, to me, it's just a sport, and I just want to take it back to that, because that's what I got it in. That's why I got into this stuff, is to do a sport, really. So that's why I try and take it as playful as I can.
I love that mentality. The UFC marketing department probably doesn't, but I love that mentality. They're like, can we stop him saying that everything is not on the line? Everything is on the line in this one. You must buy it. No, but that makes a lot of sense. And I love what you did with, I want to say it was MMA on Point, and I believe it was Pete Carroll feeding you a few delicious beers. Bud Light, not Coors Light, Coors won't pay you nothing. But you made the same point. I think it was Tyson Fury, right? When you were training with Tyson Fury, you kind of adopted this not change in style, but maybe change in attitude, where you would see him having fun, and that kind of rubbed off on you, right?
Definitely. I mean, I always link back to that guy. Not even just Tyson Fury, but the whole like Fury family have that outlook on it. Is that it just can be looked like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, you can get knocked out in front of everybody, and what? Like, so what? It's a sport. Like, there'll be another fight the week after. Like, people forget about it. You move on. You fight again and carry on, and or you don't. You don't want to. You go and do something else. And what? Like, Tyson Fury just used to take it exactly for what it was, and he used to just be messing around all the time and enjoying himself. And like, he is unbelievable in my opinion. So I want to try and base myself off what that guy's doing.
Amazing. You're a breath of fresh air, because this is what you just don't really hear many, if any, other fighters saying. I almost feel like it comes from a place of, you've got other things in your life, you know. There are people who maybe don't have anything else in their life. They don't maybe have the family and the hot tub, so they're like, you know, this means everything to me. But you seem to me like a guy, you know, who has other things in life. You're like I said, rich with love. But no segue whatsoever. Another thing in that MMA on Point video, you mentioned you once saw, I think it was at Morty's, somebody get their nose bitten off and eaten.
Yeah.
Please tell us the story. What exactly happened? We need some context.
I've seen a few sites over the years, because I used to work on the door in a pretty rough. The bar where I worked is actually really nice, but it was on a really rough area. And yeah, so two guys just fighting with each other, and one of them like kind of pinned the other one up against the wall and bit his nose off, and then swallowed his nose. Because, and I'll quote exactly what he said. So he didn't say it to me, he said it to somebody else. I swallowed his nose so the doctors couldn't sew it back on. That was his quote.
So well, hang on. So you spoke to this person afterwards. So this makes me feel like the nose biting incident happened, and then he was back there a week later, like, hey, Steve, what's happening?
Oh, mate, I've seen some bad sights. I've seen on the door there was a guy who worked up the road from me. He didn't work. He wasn't on the same door as me, but I knew him. And he was like a judo guy, and this guy was like trying to fight with him all night, trying to fight with him non-stop, and he was telling him to go away. The bouncer was actually trying to not fight with him, and eventually he just gripped him and just swept him, did like a judo sweep, didn't even punch him, and the guy banged his head on the floor and was in a coma, and the guy went to jail for it. Absolutely.
Wow. Insane, man. The stuff that happens at these bars, I almost feel like you're a bit of, you know, a Patrick Swayze in a sense. You know, you had that bodyguard lifestyle. That
Did he turn out to be gay, Patrick Swayze? He did.
Did he? I don't know about that. Well, did he? He was in Ghost. He did the pottery stuff. I don't think so. People into pottery, people in Ghost. I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out where you're going with this. That's all.
You know where I'm going with this? You know where I'm going with this? You know, Patrick Swayze, you know, he was a tough security guard. Curtis Blaydes, he's a tough opponent at UFC London. So let's talk about the fight a little bit, because I know you mentioned to Adam, and by the way, it's 6 a.m. here, so the segues have gone out the door. You spoke to Adam how when it comes to fights, you don't necessarily expect them all to go like that Volkov performance that went at UFC London. And I'm just curious, man, like when it comes to you thinking of a fight, the Volkov performance, it was pretty much picture perfect. Like before that fight, did you envision the fight going that way? And ahead of this Curtis Blaydes fight, what are the feels as you get ready to step into UFC London again?
No, I didn't think the fight was going to go like that at all. You know, there were so many people asking me before I fought Volkov about an after party, and I was all saying like, oh, you know, I was basically just brushing them off with this after party thing, because I was pretty sure that for one reason or another I was going to be in the hospital after I fought Volkov. Not because I didn't think I was going to lose the fight, but if you look at Volkov's record and look who he's fought, like he's always cutting people. You know, I thought it was going to take a lot of time. You know, I might break my hands on his head or something, and I might get cut myself or injured or something. I was pretty sure that I didn't want to organise an after party, because I was like, I may be in the hospital after this one. But to answer your question, Curtis Blaydes is the most dangerous opponent and the most skilled opponent I've ever fought so far. So I'm prepared for everything. I'm as well prepared as I can possibly be to fight on Saturday.
Do you think he's one of the top? And it's true, because Curtis, obviously, the only guys that he's lost to are Derek Lewis and the champion Francis Ngannou. Do you think he's potentially your toughest stylistic matchup in the division?
Yeah.
All right, good. Glad we're on the same page.
Okay, well now that we've covered that aspect, no, because I know you mentioned that on your Instagram, you mentioned I can win anywhere, which is pretty rare, especially for heavyweights. I can finish the fight from literally any position. So I'm curious, with a guy like Curtis Blaydes, do you go in there wanting to make a statement in a particular way, or is it just whatever comes to you and it's that element of lightness and fun in this fight just to see what comes your way as things go on?
I'm thinking about seeing if he's ticklish, to be honest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to tickle in a fight?
I don't know. I don't know. If someone tickles me, that's it. I'm off. Like, I ain't getting tickled. Maybe if he takes me down, he should tickle me, because I'll definitely get up then.
That's a good strategy. But just going back to Dennis's point, who do you think was the last person as a heavyweight that was this well-rounded? Because it is very true about what you said. You can literally finish the fight anywhere, and that doesn't go for everybody.
Heavyweights are getting better and better, aren't they, these days? Heavyweights, in my opinion, the heavyweights of today are the best that they've ever been. I don't know, but just because people haven't shown how well-rounded they are doesn't mean that they're not well-rounded. Like if you look at like Francis Ngannou when he fought Cyril Gane, everyone was like, "Oh, his wrestling's come on so much," and it's like, well, you don't know what his wrestling was like before because he never really used it. He might have always been good at wrestling. Who knows? We only get a very short window of opportunity a couple of times a year to show what we can actually do. So just because you're not showing it, because you're not showing it before, doesn't mean you can't do it.
Yeah, 100%, man. And a really good point, especially because at the moment in the heavyweight division, like it's a different era and there's so many new names and faces like yourself and other people popping up that are just so much more well-rounded. You know, people being described as sort of the future. But speaking of the future is here for any man that wants to be the most optimal version of themselves. Manscaped have got you covered. Good friends with the Lawnmower 4.0, the greatest grooming tool, the pound for pound, the black belt in ball shaving is here with its 7,000 RPM of pure power motor. The ceramic blade makes sure that you don't have to worry about ever nicking yourself on your junk ever again. It's got the LED light. It's waterproof. Dude, I'll be honest, I was so pressed for time yesterday. I didn't have time to do anything, scratch my ass, let alone grooming, and I wasn't even going to do it. But then the lawnmower was just sitting in my shower. This is a true story, and I was just like, I'm just going to do everything with the lawnmower. I did the beard, I did downstairs, and I did my head as well. And it's just great because I didn't need to jump out of the shower and plug anything in, and then you got a cable running to the shower because when you shave your hair, the hair goes all everywhere. It was just so easy. And the crazy thing is, like, everything was wet. My hair was wet. The shaver was wet. I don't normally, shave stuff when my hair's wet. It's a lot easier when it's dry. I didn't care, and the lawnmower just powered me through everything. I'm very, very, very happy with the result, and you will too. They got the Performance Package 4.0 with the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer included as well, the Crop Preserver ball toner, and the Crop Reviver to make sure the boys are smelling nice and fresh. They give you some gifts as well, free underwear and the Shed travel bag. What's not to love? Isn't that right, Dennis?
Yeah, man. It's an absolute essential item for you. You charge it once and it's ready to go. I personally love it for beard trimming. Like right before you go, boom, it's there and it's ready for you. And you guys can save 20% off and get free shipping today with a code word submission now. So jump on that lawnmower and that Manscaped package today. And by the way, guys, big fight this weekend. Tom's on with us right now. And just looking at the odds for the fight with our friends at MyBookie, Tom Aspinall right now, -135, Curtis Blaydes plus 105, and you guys can double your first deposit if you use the code word submission. Go to MyBookie today. We'll have odds and bets on all the different sports that you guys love to watch. Go on there today and double that first deposit thanks to the code word submission, Cass.
That's right. And with UFC London this weekend, it makes me think of all the great stuff, all the British TV shows that are available on British Netflix or British streaming platforms that people in Australia or in the US or Canada or Brazil or wherever may not have access to because of geolocation. So you get a great VPN like NordVPN, and with one touch of a button, your computer, your TV, your router, anything now thinks you are in that country. So maybe you want to watch, I don't know, The Office, the original one with Ricky Gervais, and you're like, well, it's not available in my country. One click with NordVPN, now you have access to it. Or I know there was a time where BT Sport, a lot of the content, the great fight previews and the fight talks, was geo-blocked. There was a time where you couldn't watch the Dan Hardy breakdown show and man, BT Sport do a phenomenal job, but you couldn't watch it. One click of a button with NordVPN, and now you can watch it. Also, it protects you because when you have a VPN, your internet service provider cannot see all the spicy websites that you are browsing because, of course, incognito mode doesn't really do anything to protect you. It just kind of hides the history on your computer. But your internet service provider sees everything. They know exactly what you're going on. Not with NordVPN. Everything's blocked. Your data is protected. And it also helps you avoid, things like being hacked and scams, malicious links from emails, certain Nigerian princes asking you to loan them money, and in exchange, they'll give you a whole bunch back. You are protected with their threat protection. And with the top plan, they even give you 1 terabyte of cloud storage. How good is that? From our good friends at NordVPN. Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, man. You guys can get that deal right now. Go to nordvpn.com/submission. Click the link in the description below. Get a huge discount, up to 69% off their top plan, plus 1 additional month for free. And it's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. And also one of the best apps in the game for your phone. Absolutely game-changing when it comes to using it on your phone. I love it so much. Jump on NordVPN today and give it a try now. But Tom, I'm curious as well, man. Obviously, you're excited about UFC London, and a part of you. But Tom, I'm curious as well, man. Obviously, you're excited about UFC London. But Tom, I'm curious as well, man. Obviously, you're excited about UFC London, and a part of you kind of must be disappointed that your teammate Darren Till didn't end up getting a chance to be on the card with you. I mean, what was your reaction when you first learned that he was out of his fight and wasn't going to be able to fight on the card with you?
I just feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Like, it's difficult when you're not doing what you love. But everything will happen in good time, I'm sure. Whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. So, keep up the faith for Darren Till. I'm sure he's going to be back.
I know he obviously was in your corner last time around. Will he be making the appearance again?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so this time. But you never know with Darren Till. He just pops up. He might just pop up and turn up in my corner without me even asking. Who knows?
Mm.
Yeah, well, last time, he flew in on the day or something and then flew out that night or something like that to be in your corner.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's going to money in the bank, cash in the money in the bank, be in the corner at the same time. Could be a lot of things happening at UFC London. Before we wrap up, man, and I know you got to go over to the Bikram place after we're done.
Have you slept, you two, or what? Have you just
no. We are running on fumes and caffeine. Honestly,
I have a kid, and I cry in the shower. Let me ask you this quickly. A cliche question, but being in the O2 second time around, such a short period, being in the main event, I know you mentioned the rarefied air comment, but how does it sort of feel for you right now, knowing I'm going in for this fight with Curtis Blaydes. This is the big one. This is the main event, and it's going to be yet again in London. And is it a situation where now, hey, to get out of London, you're gonna have to make it special, because there's nothing that can kind of top this feeling fighting at the O2 in front of my people locally.
It's very special to fight in London as a guy. Especially, got to remember where I'm from. It's nothing like London. London, for me, even, maybe not these days, but for like a kid from the northwest where there's not a lot going on, to fight in London, like in the O2, that's a big deal. Even now, even though I fought in Vegas and Abu Dhabi and everything, it's still a massive deal for me to fight in London, even when it's my second time as a main event. So it's going to be good stuff. I'm looking forward to it. What an opportunity again to go and show everyone what I'm all about.
Okay, well, history is about to happen yet again this weekend. Tom Aspinall, thank you so much for joining us on the Submission Radio. It's an honor and privilege, my friend. We can't wait to see what goes down. Of course, follow the man on social media and check out the fight here in Australia, one of the most looked forward to cards in quite some time. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.